It might surprise you that mortgage rates have been going up since the Fed cut. Now, this is very counterintuitive, but if you've been following the market at all, you've been noticing that mortgage rates have been getting much, much better leading up into the Fed cut. And then it's been pretty historically accurate that after a Fed cut, over the next typically 10 to 12 weeks, you see the interest rates actually flat or higher after the Fed cut. Just to put some things into perspective, you're going to see here on the charts that there were a couple of times in very recent history, in fact, over the last 2 or 3 years, we've seen several head fakes by the Fed about what they were going to do. Now, mortgage rates are very forward-looking, which means that when the mortgage markets kind of see this cut coming, they buy into it. And when they buy into it, the yields go down and mortgage rates go down. And as you can see here from this chart, this is going back into 2024. Back in April, it was kind of the hints were, hey, rates are going to be coming down. There was a lot of talk, a lot of buzz, and we saw mortgage rates get better. Now, green is good in this chart and red is bad. Now, all of a sudden, we started having these Fed cuts starting in September of 2024. Now, they did 3 cuts. Look what happened to mortgage rates. We saw mortgage rates absolutely tank, and it was a consistent tank over several months. And then we kind of had some ups and downs and some head fakes and back and forth, and we kind of thought we're going to get good rates back again in like February, March timeframe, and then they got worse again. But then, July comes around, and then, wow, looks like the Fed miscued on dropping rates as fast as they should. I mean, they should have been dropping a lot faster. So what happened? The market started just buy into these mortgage-backed securities, and this sentiment of, wow, we actually are going to get some Fed cuts, and we might have more, and maybe the Fed really missed that inflation numbers, and maybe the economy is not as good and it needs a kickstart. Because that's really what a Fed cut does. The Feds do not cut mortgage rates. They cut things that affect mortgage rates. But what they're really trying to do is stimulate the economy and lower the borrowing rates for people like you and me who go out and purchase stuff on credit cards and get loans and whatnot. But as you can see from this chart, it was at the Fed cut. Now, I know this is really small up there, but you're going to see that the very first cut that just happened, mortgage rates are actually getting worse. And I expect that to continue over the next probably 10 weeks. What does this really mean for you as a home buyer? Now, remember, we've had a substantial improvement in mortgage rates over the last several months since July, and now we're sitting in September. So if you are out there looking to buy a house, please do it in earnest. And if you're considering refinancing, and a lot of people have been qualifying for a refinance now, even if they bought not too long ago, and if you go look back at that chart, you can back up this video, of some of the times where the prices were really on the low end to where they are now, you can kind of look at where you were when you bought. That means your mortgage rate's probably higher than where they are right now. I'm hearing a lot of noise like, oh, wow, I should just wait. And, home prices are still coming down. And a lot of news has been fluttering out there that this could be the first time we see year over year home prices actually decline. Man, I just don't believe that. I just really don't buy it. Listen, the nice homes sell. The ones that need work and and the agents aren't actually working to sell it, those are the homes that sit. By the way, side note, if you are interested, I have a program called Project My Home. If you are selling your house, you really need to hear about this. You can take a look at Project My Home at projectmyhome.com. Basically what it is, it's a specialty listing program that helps make your house affordable in the general market because, quite frankly, prices is just one thing. It's the payment that sells a house. So if you want to learn more, you can go ahead to projectmyhome.com and check it out. Well, with all that said and done, let's go ahead and take a look at where markets are now, and let's look at where the market is actually heading. All right, here we go. This is what has been going on. And if you notice here, this top area where you see that big L button, where it doesn't mean loser, but loser if you didn't lock, I guess. But we've had such a run up since that July. And then guess what this was? That was the Fed cut. Yes, the Fed cut hurt mortgage rates. So counterintuitive, I know. But just think of it again in perspective. Fed cut it's inflationary. It's meant to spur the economy. So typically what happens, get the momentum of what's going to happen, you buy into it, and then once it happens, it kind of tails off. And I'm being very juvenile about that statement, but that's kind of what's happening here. And there's a lot more technical aspects to why this is getting worse. So all in all, interest rates are doing very, very well. I'm going to show you a slide here in just a second of kind of where they are. But if you want to see what's going on with mortgage rates, you can go to rates.loanwithrick.com. And if you want to talk a little bit more, have any questions, send me an email at loanwithrick@rate.com. It's a great time to buy a house. This is probably one of the best times I've seen to buy a house in a long time. I mean, even in the hottest markets, sellers are negotiating. Again, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of pockets out there. They're really nice homes. They are going to go, but you're not having the same amount of competition you did. There are some homes that are out there, and agents are using this as kind of a ploy. They list it low. They get social proof. They get a lot of people, and they're really buying for that bidding war. If you see a home like in some of these hot markets that seems too low, that's probably what's going on. Make sure you're working with a good agent that can best advise you as well. Make sure you're working with a good lender that can call that listing agent as well and help really strengthen your offer. I've done a lot of videos on my YouTube channel. You can check that out. I go into a lot into like how to make your offer, just a lot of little tips and tricks. So anyway, have a great day. Wonderful to talk to you. I'm just talking to myself. But anyways, have a great one. I'll see you in the next video.